Alrighty, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another set of interviews. This is likely the last one, as far as I know. This is probably the last one I'm going to do. But I'm joined here by Andrew, Tenacious, Kierce, and Ethan, Dunder, Filbert. You can already see it's a great day to be out here. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. How you doing, Ethan, Dunder?
Doing great, thank you.
So, for reference, I did tell them that they don't need to put the mic inside of their mouth, and they've already done that. So that's already a great start. But we're about, what, 2 weeks out from graduation now? So
yeah, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, how are you guys feeling right now?
Pretty good. Excited to move on. Excited to close a new book.
Close a new book.
Close a chapter, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah.
Ethan, how are you feeling?
I mean, I already graduated, so
I
graduated in December, so
Nice.
yeah, I mean, a little bit different, but it's gonna suck not playing. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you guys have been in the CCL since I believe it started, pretty much, right? I don't know if you played in the first season, but outside of that,
yeah, I think there was like a season 0 during World War II and like Black Ops 4, where it was kind of like just getting
testing,
implemented and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the first actual like season 1 was like Black Ops 4 MW, so yeah, pretty much in from the start.
Yeah, it's how have you guys seen like the growth of this thing? You guys, like I said, you guys have been in this since the start. So I mean, how has it been seeing how much it's grown at this point?
you want to take it?
Yeah, I can take it. I mean,
okay.
It's definitely gotten a lot bigger. I mean, with the addition of amateur players and I mean even former pros, it kind of makes it harder.
Yeah, it makes it
like in the beginning, it was like pure passion, just like college students.
We thought we were
going
gonna
to
win the first season.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna win.
Obviously, some shit didn't go our way.
Some unfortunate stuff. But
that was when Humber won, correct?
No,
A&M.
Texas.
Oh,
A&M, yeah.
Tamaro.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, in the beginning it was like purely passion. There's definitely still passion, but now, of course, there's a lot more money involved.
It's a lot of just
pro players, amateur players, and it's only gonna get harder than that, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean I know they talk about potentially seeing like the CCL as like a
path to
way
pro.
in. Yeah, like a path. I don't know if it'll ever get to that point. But I still feel like you have to
I think
do
it will get to a
something
point where it's not going to be like a direct tunnel to the pro league, but people are going to have to amateur players are going to have to go to school and play in the CCL most likely to just create a life.
Fame and Ghosty.
Yeah, Fame and Ghosty
coming from CCL. So big,
cool. Big examples there. Yeah. I think it definitely has a chance to be sort of a path to pro. I saw somebody on Twitter, I forget who I was talking to, but I thought it was an absolutely blasted take when they said Path to Pro will be CCL. They will be the same thing in 5 years. I'm like, bro, there is no way it'll be like a pure Path to Pro. Like we're still gonna have challenges. We're still gonna have CCL.
That'd be awesome. But
it'd be
for
cool.
esports, it will never get to that. I don't think.
No, I don't think it'll be like that for any game really. It's just like if you watch collegiately, if you watch any game outside of Call of Duty and then you watch the Pro League, it's like 2 completely different games.
Yeah.
So I don't mean it. I'm also among the opinion. I don't think it should be that way.
No.
I think CCL should almost be for people like us who are pretty talented at the game, but don't really have aspirations.
We're not gonna
versus
I'd go pro, but
good.
If I could. But.
Versus challengers, I mean that should be the path. That's where you should be going.
Yeah.
CCL,
The only esport, or college esport I could see that has the potential to actually turn into an avenue to pro league is Rocket League, because they get tons of dev support for college. I mean the CRL and everything. I mean that stuff's awesome.
We haven't
to get that in CCL and to get the dev support like that. I mean that'd be terrific. But
so we talked a bit there about the CCL and its growth. What about the program here at LVC? How has it been since you guys came here? Because I know it was a completely different landscape when you guys got here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's changed too much. I feel honestly when we first came in, maybe there was a little more hype around it. It was newer. It seemed a lot more passion, just coming down to the room every day. Every seat in here was filled, people grinding. I feel now when I come down, I mean, I don't come down all the time, but it's definitely not the same as it once was. And
COVID probably definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to be harder for. LVC's definitely going to have to branch out and find different ways to get esports players here, especially better talent, because you can't just keep doing what you were doing to get players like us. They kind of got a little lucky, but yeah.
So how is it in your guys' freshman year? Because I know, Ethan, you didn't play your freshman year, right? You played your sophomore year?
I didn't know we didn't actually have a Call of Duty team.
Exactly, yeah. So you played sophomore year, but what was that experience coming into the program for both of you?
I feel like there was a lot of hype around it. Like I think Tommy Chappas, he got us a little bit hyped up for it. I mean, we had Andrew coming in, we had Ryan DeGroot coming in, Tommy, me. So we kind of thought that we'd be able to make a pretty good run. Some unfortunate shit happened, but I mean, what can you do about it?
That's the nature of collegiate too. Like,
No,
I've
yeah.
seen that a lot.
When I first came
It
in,
was hyped though. It was really hyped up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I literally wasn't gonna go here until I came for the accepted students day, and they offered me a small scholarship, and then I saw the room, and that kind of changed my mind immediately. I accepted, signed all the stuff that day, so it's a big catalyst on why I even came here. So
It was a lot cooler, I feel like, when COD was on console as well, because we had the whole back wall, we had the Astros in, could only hear each other, fist bumps going, it was a lot better an atmosphere than when it went to PC.
That's the perfect segue because I've literally asked every single person I've done interviews with, when the consoles, the whole ordeal with the consoles being moved to the other room,
I mean,
were you guys here for that?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I know you were at the school, but were you in the room at the time?
Oh, no one was.
I think it was in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it was it was either late at night or early morning. They moved all our stuff and put it in the other room.
Yeah, I've heard different perspectives from it. I talked to Robbie about it. I know John wasn't here because he's in my class technically, but he's graduating early. But I think Grok talked about it a little bit. He wasn't around too much about that.
I mean, I get it from their point of view. I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you got, especially Call of Duty is such a fast game that it's hard to really slow. I think the people involved, I think they were playing CS and stuff, which is obviously a slower game. You talk slow, you strategize. COD, it's boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
you're talking fast. You don't even know how loud you are. We were probably super loud. And ultimately, for the better of our team and their team, it was better to move in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And you guys also had the baseball kids at that time, and they were some of the loudest people. I remember when I came here. My first experience was with you two and the baseball guys, and it was so loud. I never heard I'd coached amateur teams beforehand, but I'd never.
They were dog shit.
No, they weren't bad. They were okay, but they literally, bro. I came here and I was like, dude, I have to turn everyone's volume down by 60%.
This is our sponsor.
I wish we had that kind of sponsor, but we
remember
do
the Mountain Dew thing. We almost had that.
Oh, I don't. Dave, I'm sorry. I'll show this to you later. If I have to cut this out, I cut this out. But, we don't have the Mountain Dew sponsorship because we're a Coke school.
No, I know. Yeah, that's what.
Unfortunately,
cocaine school.
I remember that. That sucked when that happened. But
yeah, we're unfortunately a Coke school, so we were gonna have a partnership with Mountain Dew, and then that fell through because of being a Coke school. But that kind of sucks.
I mean, we were loud, but I mean, I feel like it probably should have at least been just a conversation instead of just moving all that shit.
Just
a match that day. We came in and nothing was where it was. I mean, it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it
was console, so it wasn't bad.
Correct. We were able to move into the other room and no problem.
Yeah.
I think we ended up realizing that it was probably better.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
Yeah, we had our own room basically then, and we weren't disturbing anything in here.
Yeah. They were disturbing us. We were all just...
it was. There were not arguments, but people yelling at each other. I feel like everyone was in here.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It eliminated that, which was good.
Yeah, no, it was a good thing.
So another thing I want to kind of get into, it's more about this year, I guess, specifically, but I know you guys personally have, with this team, have dealt with a lot of, at least when it comes to playoffs, always someone unavailable, but as you can see behind you guys, you have at least brought at least one home. So how does it feel to, bring at least one title home after all of this time, usually in playoffs, running into someone who's being unavailable?
I mean... It feels great to bring something home. I hope we get a cool trophy or medal that can go in the case that
something.
People 10 years from now can look at and not know that all those teams were terrible. But yeah,
yeah, I have. So I could show you what it is, but unfortunately I can't.
Nah, those teams, they're good teams. We were just better.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean,
there's a reason the fan has gone.
No, we put in the work.
We did. This was, probably. I don't know if you'll agree. This was probably the first year that we got on a pretty good scrim schedule and
for sure.
Stayed with it for a bit. I mean, MW19 with COVID, that obviously we were grinding every day and right before playoffs. So we grinded them. But Cold War, I mean, I'll even admit, like I slacked off a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Cold War and Vanguard were kind of just like blurs.
They were rough.
Yeah,
This year we got a pretty good scrim schedule towards
Yeah.
like the end of the year and had one at the beginning of the year. But MW19 was probably the year that we like grinded the most, and most of that was because COVID. Teachers didn't know what to do with school, so we were all just playing every day.
Pretty much, yeah.
That kind of goes back to your first question. Like, it was just pure passion. There's
Yeah.
nothing else involved. Because even now, like, if you're grinding like that, like, you still have in the back of your head, like, we have to play, like, pros and
We have
top
to play-
ends at
yeah.
some point.
We're playing,
and
like,
if we pull
Justin,
out, like, a
first
miracle out of
round.
our ass, then it's kind of impossible, but...
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's why like I kind of wish if there was one thing I regret, it's that Cold War season. I wish I kind of put everything I had into the actual CCL season.
Yeah. That was how I got
ironically-
into it too. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
ironically, I grinded like afterwards, and like Vanguard was probably one of my best years. I mean, I still think this is probably like the current game's my best game, but Vanguard I definitely took like an extra step because I knew we were losing Chris and Brian.
Yeah.
and I
So you
needed
had to, like, step up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed to do something. I couldn't just let fucking Andrew do everything.
So speaking a bit on that Cold War season, do you guys remember it like insanely well?
What's Cold War?
What's Cold War?
Yeah, no, I remember it. Honestly, it feels
Like-
like it was, like, kind of yesterday. It's still kind of crazy to me that was, like...
Because
I
for
want
me,
revenge, man.
2-3 years ago.
yeah, for me that was my first season. Like
Yeah, you
I
were
was,
about to be in the starting roster for this guy until
Yeah,
Joe
I
came to me, and I was
dude.
like, no.
I can't believe that you wanted me to start, but like, just like I don't know, my experience for my freshman year, obviously it's this is like a different conversation that I've had with like a couple other people, but it's like different for you guys because you were actually on the team that I was on. Like coming into this program, I just wanted to be like the analyst for you guys. Like I was just gonna be a coach because I mean I met Joe and I was like, this guy's playing RuneScape in our meeting. Like what are we gonna do, bro? Like what are these guys doing? So I just wanted to coach, and then like I started getting like I met you guys obviously, and then Tom comes in at random points in time, like in my streams and stuff, and talks to me, and it's just like I don't know. It's like I remember a lot of that season, but I don't at the same time. Like I remember streaming your guys' matches, casting, and then it
Yeah.
just kind of like it just kind of blew up from there.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean that was another year where it was like COVID the whole entire year. It was kind
Yes.
of like again it was like
It
kind of
was
just
hard.
like a blink and it was like a blur, but
I mean, yeah,
it was probably one of my favorite years just personally because it was like probably like one of my best games. But
I was. I mean, yeah.
and
Andrew-
I loved like our team too, like
Yeah.
you, Chris, Brian.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
it
that
was
was a
it
good
was a
team.
fun
That was
like
a good
vibey
team.
team, and it was the best game we had in the past 5 years. So it was probably like my most memorable year. But Vanguard, I feel like
that just
that
was
was fast.
literally like a Thanos
Yeah.
snap. Like it just
yeah,
is
it was
gone.
complete blur.
That thing was just out of there.
But Cold War, I remember like a good bit. Like I could name like vivid memories of
I was
just
gonna say,
times in,
there's
like of us
stories.
scrimming and
There's
stuff for
stories.
sure. Yeah.
Well, getting into that, actually, I have asked everyone this. What is probably your favorite story? What story do you want to tell from this program? Either of you can start.
From the program, as in like
I
in
was gonna
games
say,
or
like,
like people outside.
Correct.
Like,
Outside,
that we, like, outside.
whatever you want to tell. You guys are
you
gonna
got
be
it off
graduating,
the top
so
of
it
your
doesn't
head,
matter.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the in-game stuff, it was small things.
Yeah.
It would be small things that kind of happened throughout that, rather like funny or just whatever.
Yeah.
Out of game, I mean, it'd probably have to be your freshman year.
Yeah.
When
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I got locked out of my dorm, and thankfully he was still awake. Like we were hanging out,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like I asked him if I could just stay at his place. It was like pretty
was-
fucking cold out. Like
It was cold.
and
I mean, it's Pennsylvania. It's always.
We ended up
cold.
staying up to like 4 or 5 a.m.
yeah.
just dying laughing.
yeah, I
'cause
mean we had Brian DeGroot. You
Yeah.
know,
Big Ryan.
he was my roommate for the first semester when he was here. And
Yeah.
he was hitting
He
his
was-
vape in his.
he was hitting his vape
Dude,
and,
he was
and
doing it all.
farting in his
Like,
sleep.
eating ice cream. Like,
Dude,
Ice cream and
everything,
tuna.
bro.
I mean, it was gross, but we were dying laughing. For like,
it was funny.
yeah, it was
good.
funny. You had to be there.
I had to be there.
Nah, but
That's-
other than like, I mean, like in-game memories and stuff. I mean, I can name
There's a
like
lot.
a bunch
There's
like
a
every
lot,
year, but
yeah.
like, there's so many like little in-game moments of like someone clutching up or just someone doing something and people getting hyped. Like my favorite memories is just like winning something and like the whole team like getting hyped and come together.
Yeah.
That's probably the best. I can't name like a specific moment.
Well, I was gonna say, I think the one that still kind of like sucks that we lost the match and lost like the 6th straight, but in MW19 playoffs when I did the I got the ninja diffuse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that you
Dude.
still have that recorded, right?
Yeah, I still have the clip, and it's just like Chris screaming at like
Yeah.
the top of his lungs.
Now,
Ironically, I thought that was a 1v3. I had no idea Brian was alive. That
MW19 was probably like overall, like this team wise in general, that was probably like my favorite.
Yeah.
It was like the most fun year. It was like beginning of CCL, like everybody actually had a chance to like
correct.
go far and
Do
actually
something.
win.
Yeah.
Like Texas A&M was obviously a great team. They had like I think his name was like Dito or something. He was like kind of a top name at the time, but I mean. They were good, but like it wasn't like no Dylan Rex and stuff.
No, it's not like you're playing pro roster. Yeah.
I mean, not only that, but I feel like MW19. I mean, like he said, like you could take maps really off of anyone if you were good enough. I mean, we were taking maps off of Humber.
And
We finished
5v5,
top
like
three.
as much as like 5v5 like wasn't Call of Duty, like it was still fun because you got like 5 of your friends like on one map, so it was like more the merrier.
Dude, I remember playing like
Azir Cave is my favorite memory.
Azir Cave.
Going crazy. That used to be my favorite map.
I remember the 5v5 on Black Ops 4,
Gunrunner, man.
and that was like one of my first. That was one of my first times being like an actual coach for like a substantial amount of time on like one team, and just like I still have it. I have like a whole spreadsheet of our stats and everything. I was doing that by hand, and like I remember having to go through it. Like each map, our team was playing different roles because remember that actually mattered at that time because it was like you had the operators, the specialists. Like that was just such a weird time. Like Call of Duty did that twice, like 2 or 3 times, and that was like it was just so weird. Like. In that whole season, like, did you guys have to like? Did you change like operators on like each map, or like we did, or were you
Are you
just,
talking
like,
BO4?
BO4.
BO4. I mean, the memories I have of BO4 was mostly just scrims. I mean, we kind of just scrimmed a little bit because we wanted to kind of get. I think we called it like just getting chemistry.
Yeah, just work up
Yeah,
like
team
team
count.
count because it was like the end of the
That's a big
season,
thing,
and like
too.
we were coming in, and it was the only game out, so it was kind of just like. Practicing team chem until like
Correct.
MW came out.
So like I think Tom claimed like War Machine. I forget what you were. I was Vision
Tempest,
Pulse.
I think
The
Tempest.
Vision
maybe?
ones. Yeah,
Yeah, like
I could
it-
see
It
that.
kind of went with whatever. I
And like
kind
our
of filled
roles,
in whatever.
yeah, our roles were like constantly changing. Like I would go from like subs and main AR and him the same damn thing. So
I mean, yeah,
we
you
kind of never really figured out roles until like this.
Well,
year.
no, I mean,
I was gonna say it's been different teams every year too.
Yeah,
Well, we've had. I mean, in BO4 when we scrimmed, I was sort of like the ICR main AR kind of guy. MW, I got yelled at by Brian to just pick a gun because I kept going back and forth. And he was
Yeah.
like tired of me switching. He's like, "What gun are you gonna do good with?" I was like, "I think the MP5." He's like, "Use that gun. Don't change again."
Yeah.
I think the only other game I was in AR was Cold War Nace.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
for Vanguard we had you
Great.
Cold
I was
War
a sub.
Nace, and in the beginning of Vanguard we were coming off that Cold War Nace role.
Yeah, so
it was Minty from FGCU now, and then me, both with subs, but that quickly changed to ARs. I pretty much ended up running an AR every season. I feel like.
I think you did.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
kind of always been like an AR.
Yeah.
MW19?
Sub for
With the, I did play a sub for a little bit, but I feel like I always ended the year as an AR.
No, yeah, I think
I honestly don't remember.
Vanguard, you were auto. Cold War, you were like
Cold War, I was main AR, 100%.
grossest Krieg player ever, honestly.
I wish.
So I'm gonna ask you guys for your thoughts, at least on the CCL.
How do you remember all these off the
LCQ.
top of your head?
What?
This is the questions. It's awesome, man.
Well, it's all just it's just all kind of.
It's Harold, dude.
Oh,
Nine true wizard.
off
I just come up with it like as I'm talking, so it just kind of
Nine
is
true
that
wizard.
way. But so I want to ask you guys your thoughts on the LCQ and how what you guys think the outcomes will be for that. In the video, you guys will see it. I'll put like a image of this, what we're looking at in the post. But so these are the groups. So in the Northeast, you have Farmingdale State, Rutgers, and Queens. In the Southeast, you have Mars Hill, Newberry, JMU, which JMU surprised me a lot, but they've gotten better. Midwest is St. Clair, Davenport, and SIUE, and then in the West it's St. Edwards, New Mexico State, and CSUN. So I believe one of these teams out of all of these makes it to the LAN.
Oh,
Only
really?
one?
Or one each division?
I think it's just one, if I remember correctly. Because the format changes every year in CCL. You guys would know that better than me. But the format changes every year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think it's one.
I'd probably have Farmingdale
Yeah.
going.
So
I don't really know the other teams. I mean, I've
Yeah,
seen them
Rutgers
all, but
is-
I don't know their rosters. I mean,
Yeah.
I know St. Clair have had kind of like the same
St.
like
Clair's
core
been
for the
pretty
past
solid,
few years.
yeah.
They've always been solid. But I mean, I've heard a lot of like hype around like Farmingdale, and I think they like pooped on us a little bit. So
Yeah, Mars Hill has been a bit surprising to me.
Rutgers is good, but
Rutgers
I don't
is
see
good.
them beating.
Yeah, I see. So the two I would have would be Farmingdale and Mars Hill.
Was it
I
two?
think
Or is it
I don't know about
It's
Mars
one,
Hill.
but Mars Hill is weird. So they went undefeated in CXP, and they've just been like destroying teams in the Southeast in
I
CCL.
forget about. I remember hearing stuff about like Davenport, but
Yeah, I've heard Davenport's
I don't know.
alright,
I don't know
but
their roster.
they're like a CS school. They're like a CS.
I would need
school.
to say rosters. Off the top of my head, though, I'd say Farmingdale is
Yeah.
like qualifying.
Yeah, I could see that definitely too. Especially like that CDL pub.
I thought
start
JMU
is
was
crazy.
dog shit. Excuse my language. I thought they
No,
were ass.
I mean
They're good.
That's what I thought too. I thought the same thing because like remember the last time we played them, it was like
Yeah,
they were
could've been in a
terrible.
gunfight, Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I mean they probably have a different team
Coming
too.
at people, man.
They probably have a different team, so that would be my guess.
Yeah, they're ass.
But out of the current qualified teams for LAN, I don't know if you guys saw it, but from the northeast of
Not us.
No, yeah,
Not us.
no, from the northeast, you could have guessed it's Fisher. Southeast is U of NA, which is that's
So I have a quick question.
What's up?
Did Fisher get in just by beating us, or they go further?
no, they had to win the whole thing, so they beat
Oh.
us, they beat Rutgers, then they beat whoever was in the semifinal.
Did they beat Rutgers 3-0? Do you know?
I don't
I mean-
know the score, and I can't pull it up on my phone.
Fisher, I have Fisher or Northwood, but
Yeah.
Fisher should like with that. I mean, obviously, talent's not everything, but like with that roster, I
If
mean,
they're trying,
yeah,
they
Yeah, if they're
should.
trying,
if
they
Fisher has like
should
their
win.
4 best
Correct.
players, they should be winning, and if they're not, that's a problem.
I like Northwood
It's
though.
kinda sad.
Dylan Rex is working.
I mean,
Yeah. I like Northwood though. I
Yeah,
think they're
Dylan-
a solid school.
Yeah,
They're
I
a
mean,
solid
Northwood
team.
is
I think Dylan Rex is teaming with like Pristini, Classic, and Gumbus right now, so
Yeah,
he's
like,
probably just
there's-
getting better by the day. Just
Yeah,
like,
there's
learning
no
stuff.
reason.
So
Dude's playing the Challengers Elite, and then he's
yeah,
going,
I got
it's
Fisher
CCL.
winning.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Fisher?
couldn't guard us, but yeah, they're good.
They couldn't guard us.
250-249.
Oklahoma
Yeah.
Christian's
They
interesting,
didn't
too.
3-0 us. They didn't.
Yeah.
Twice.
So, I got one more thing.
What?
2 more things I want to
We're
cover.
just getting started, bro.
I got 2 more things I want to cover. So first, your Halo experience, Andrew.
Okay.
We had just started our Halo team 2 semesters ago, in the spring of 2022. So, you were on that first iteration of the
Yeah.
team. It was me. It was unfortunately me, and then you, Chris, and Mingo Moon, and Nolan, who's now in the military.
Yeah.
What are your memories from that God squad
I mean,
that we took the land?
like the game itself like wasn't fun, but like the team was just like super fun. Like meeting Chris and Nolan was like, I don't know, it was just fun. Like
It was
the
such, like, a
game
weird
kind of
experience.
sucked, and the
Yeah.
fact that like we could have got like I wish like the COD team could have had like a LAN tournament like that, but like going with them, it was still like a super cool experience, even though like we literally played pros.
Yeah, that
smacked
event
around.
was a whole.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one.
It was a fun experience.
It was fun though. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That venue was awesome.
Yeah,
I
that was
loved
a
it.
cool venue.
So the last thing I have for you guys is, do you guys have any I don't want to say it like this, but like parting words, I guess, for people in the program, people out of the program, all that sort of stuff.
Do you have any parting words?
I think he
Not that I
does.
should say.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have any like thing like specific, but like, I mean, I guess just like a thank you.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean,
I thank you because I wouldn't have came here without like the scholarship and like the actual like having like a arena like this itself.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy never got a scholarship, which I always thought was
Yeah,
kind
that's
of whack.
crazy.
And the fact that like players mid-season, because they weren't recruited, they couldn't get a scholarship. I always thought that was kind of messed up, and if that was the case, they should have at least bought the games for us. I mean, I thought I don't. That's not even parting words. It's just kind of coming at people now. But
That's just kind of going at you.
I mean, yeah, it's no one in this. It's no one's like fault in this organization. Like that's
No,
like
yeah.
higher ups at like
Yeah.
the actual organization of Lebanon Valley College.
Yeah.
But
And
there's
that's
nothing like out of our control that we like kind of had to do. But parting words, I mean, it was like super fun. Thank you. Made great memories. If anybody's like thinking of playing esports at their college, like
this
why-
is an
why
underrated
not?
program. This is
Yeah.
a very good program.
a great program. Like if you're thinking of coming to Lebanon Valley and you have like the slight interest in video games, like come down,
It's
like people are gonna like, yeah, it's definitely worth it. Like you'll meet friends, like for sure.
I think like, I mean, thank you across the board again. I mean, it gave me something to do in college, which was, you know, kind of fun.
Yeah, I would have been bored every
I was-
day.
That's what I basically spent my freshman year. I was just bored and shit. So this gave me something to do. I will say, I think the only thing that I would critique on is, which I guess like you kind of have to have your own personal accountability, but I feel like, you know, the coaches should be trying to hold some sort of accountability
Yes.
towards the players. So I mean, like we had, you know, people who were technically on the team, but they weren't starting, wouldn't come to practices and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, just me personally, I don't know if it's just how I am, but there was a chance I wasn't starting in Cold War. There was a chance that was going to be Andrew, Tommy Chappas, Chris, and
Yeah.
Brian. So I still would have shown up to practices. I still would have came to try and like, you know, play a little bit. They would have thrown me in some like knee smashes or some shit, and I would have got some playing time. But I think there should be, I guess, a little bit of like a stronger treatment of this as like an actual sport.
No,
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
know,
Like-
I know exactly what you mean. I
Like,
definitely
it-
Like besides the fact of like if you want to come and play like esports, especially for like this school or any school, like 100% do it and stuff. Like
Take it seriously.
from a student's perspective, like yeah, take it as serious as possible, like it's a sport, because I mean it is.
It
I mean
is, yeah.
people are competing for millions of dollars. Like as much as like you don't want to admit it, it is like it's competition.
It's yeah. I
So-
mean, I think that's kind of like my only thing is, you know, trying to make it a little bit more. I don't know if serious is the right word, but just
structured. And
yeah, like getting people into practice and like getting, you know, even if they're on the bench, like getting them involved. I mean, there's definitely things that I would say, you know, we probably could have done better.
yeah, we
as,
could have
like,
done a lot of things.
you
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
you know, like as individuals.
Even
try to
this
get
even this
people-
season.
Correct, yeah. But I like, you know, even Roman, like that's why I liked Roman this year. He was still kind of involved. He played with us in Vanguard a little bit, and you know we got to see him in action. I wish him the best of luck going forward with
Yeah,
the
hopefully,
Call of Duty team.
Yeah, hopefully
So-
LVC can find another COD team. It'd be kind of sad to like not see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
COD team.
especially
it'd be
losing
kind of.
three
It'd be
guys,
also
so.
kind of sad to see a COD team and then watch them suck too.
Yeah.
Hopefully the recruitment process can improve. but
Correct.
I know that's kind of like out of like
It's hard.
this control
Yeah,
as
it's
well. I
hard.
mean,
It's tough.
it's very hard, especially when
You're
there's schools out there offering full scholarships. I mean, Lebanon Valley College is never gonna offer that to students, so.
Yeah,
It's
just,
kind of up to the student themselves to like come here and physically see like the culture.
I was
like,
gonna
actually
say-
like want to come here. And
That's
play.
probably the biggest thing is, and you know, the culture here is so great, especially within like your own team.
Yeah.
Usually, at least in my opinion. I mean, there's definitely troubles with team, but I feel like that's esports. You know, like you have to
It's
talk
always
shit
been.
out.
Yeah.
Like you have to figure.
Every team deals with that.
Yeah, like you have to deal with, you know, trying to get better at the game.
Yeah.
And you have to hold yourself accountable. That's probably the only thing I'd say is if you're coming here for esports, try and hold yourself as accountable as possible. Don't like skip classes. We had, you know, people
Yeah,
do that before.
We've dealt with enough of that already.
Like, don't do that.
You're not
but-
coming here to play video games.
Correct. Like if you're free, like if you have free time, don't watch Netflix. Don't do, like just play. Just play for a bit. Try and get better at the game. I think is my thing is have some sort of accountability for yourself to
Yeah.
get better. I wish I did that earlier. You
Yeah.
know, it took me
Same.
until Cold War NACE in order to actually feel like I was good at the game.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, that will wrap things up here for us today. Andrew, you can go grab your MVP that's been sitting in the trophy case for the past 3 years if you want to. Or you can
That's a
leave
good
it here.
gas. It's a good gas.
That's been sitting in there for like 2 or 3 years now. But if you want, you can grab it at some point. We'll make sure you get that. But
Can I get it right now? Is it unlocked?
well, yeah, we just leave the trophy case unlocked every day. That's just how it works,
Yeah, I
right?
shouldn't have said it though.
Yeah, I can see if Dave's around, but
No,
that's for
We'll
later.
get it later.
Thank you guys for taking the time not only to come here and talk to me, but also just for the program in general. I mean, you guys have been putting in probably the most hours of almost all of our teams, so it's really good
Yeah,
to
I mean, I
have
think
you guys
we,
around.
yeah.
We try.
Yeah,
We
bes-
tried.
Yeah, I think besides like the Rocket League boys and I don't really know. I mean, I know Val performed really well this year, like won a couple tournaments and stuff. But I'd say like overall, I felt like we were always kind of like. I don't know, I felt like we always had like a good, especially the first couple years, we had always had like a good chance, like compared to the other esports teams here for sure.
Well, thank you guys once again, and that'll do it for us. So.
Yeah. Thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Shout
you all
out-
for watching as well.
Shout out Harold for
Yeah, thank you, Harold.
like no other. I haven't met like even like when I first came here before you were here, like they had like kind of like a guy like you, but he was never ever putting in the work.
I believe it was Logan. If I
Yeah,
remember
I
correctly.
don't even know because he didn't do anything, but no one put in the work. Like
You've done a
you.
lot for this program.
Yeah, you've done a lot for this program.
Yeah.
And when you leave, they're really gonna like when we leave. I know it's gonna be hard to find like another COD team, but I know when you leave, it's gonna be hard to
Social
find
media,
I mean
everything. I
Yeah,
mean,
you do
streaming.
You
I
do
appreciate
everything, and I mean without even like. I mean, without even like you like casting our matches and stuff, like we literally wouldn't even have like VOD. Like we wouldn't even have like those like memories to like look back on. Like I can go back right now and like look at like a match from Cold War that like he was casting or like whatever.
Vanguard, we
So
we appreciate it.
yeah, so that
Thank you.
thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave Shapiro, thanks man.
Big Dave.
Joe,
I wouldn't have came here without
Big
Without
Jesse.
Big Joe.
yeah. I wouldn't have came here without Dave like reaching out and actually like giving me like a self-guided tour and stuff. I mean, he got me like into it like that. Big thanks to Dave. Joe's always been there. I mean, Joe's awesome. Like
If you ever have trouble with an admin, go to
Yeah,
Joe. He'll
Joe.
figure it out. He'll
Joe's
get it
that-
solved for you.
Joe's that guy.
I gotta thank Tommy Choppas.
I mean,
Big Tom.
he's the only reason I'm here. to be
Oh
honest.
yeah,
Thomas.
I was gonna yeah. Without Tommy Choppas, like I probably wouldn't even like, come here as well
Yeah.
because like even if like Dave recruited me, like I was like yeah, but like their team could suck. But if it wasn't for like Tommy reaching out and playing with me and like showing me that like they actually have like a team there, like again I wouldn't have come here. So
And he taught me a lot early too.
yeah,
Tommy,
same.
So.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so shout out Tommy, Harold, Joe,
Everyone
Dave,
that watched our matches.
everyone that 5 people that
and
watched.
friends and
A lot of
family.
people that watch that are you just counted on your head.
Friends, family, teammates we've had throughout
Yeah.
the years.
Chris,
Brian, Chris,
Peter,
Peter, Riley Johnson,
Bryson.
Bryson Zavanchek,
Arthur
Minty.
Dragomir.
Arthur Dragomir, the
Minty.
FGCU guy.
Roman.
Yeah, Roman. Yeah, hopefully like someone like Roman or someone can like at least like come next year and like just try to like build something. You know, like, I don't want it to like just all go to like ways that kind of suck. But,
All right, that wraps things up for us, though. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LVC_esports on both of those platforms. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get some more stuff out, but we'll have to see how things go over the summer. So be sure to subscribe. Make sure we got things going there. And also follow us on Twitch. That's where you can see all of our matches, of course, at Lebanon Valley College on Twitch. So thank you, guys. And that'll wrap it up.
Peace.
See ya.